Tonight, our main speaker is Micky. Help me welcome Micky.
Thank you. Hi everybody, my name's Micky Bush and I'm a fully conceded alcoholic. That's fully conceded, not conceited as you may believe later on. Yeah, I'm really grateful to be here. I'm delighted to be here as a matter of fact, and just having a little bit of fun and feeling the essence of the recovery that we have in rooms like this all over the world. Ain't you finished the seventh tradition yet? You want me to compete with addicts being asked to part with their money? You know, I used to identify as a social drinker, but I found out this is a disease of denial, D-E-N-I-A-L. Don't even notice I am lying, Are there any social drinkers here in the room? No social drinkers in the room? Oh, a couple over here must be Al-Anons, I guess. I don't know, yeah. I know the Al-Anons are here. I can feel you releasing me. Anyway, let's see how far this denial goes. I used to say I was a social drinker because every time I went out drinking it or anybody said I'm going for a drink, I said, so shall I. How many social drinkers here now? Oh, yeah, denial, yeah. So, but nothing social about my drinking, I can promise you that. What's we going to talk about tonight, do you think? What do you think I'll talk about tonight? I always have the tools of the trade here, which is the beautiful book, Alcoholics Anonymous. This beautiful book. Anybody read this book, by the way? Who reads the book, Alcoholics Anonymous? Good idea if you're alcoholic, read the beautiful book, Alcoholics Anonymous. I like the book and I love my favourite page, and I'll take the liberty of reading it to you today because, on meetings like this and social groups like this, I think it's important to establish, what we got. Because a lot of people get really confused with, the first step. We admitted we were powerless. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. A lot of people don't understand. I didn't. Powerless? I had no idea what that was all about when I came here. And where I came from, I'm from northwest London. You probably picked up on that, right? London, England. I'm a limey, lush and loady, and this is the way I speak. Alcohol didn't do this to me, and where I come from in my hood, you couldn't walk around claiming you were powerless over nothing. If I'd walked around talking about being powerless, they'd have changed me from Mickey to Michelle or something, powerless, what the hell did that mean? But I learnt, and I learnt good. And I learnt from you guys who had gone before me. And, I never brought nothing. I want to know if there's, new people or returning people here that are relatively unfamiliar with what we talk about here, or whether there's other fellowships. I want you to know I'm a real alcoholic, and I identify as a real alcoholic, a fully conceded alcoholic, And I always drank the drug alcohol, but I didn't only drink it. I also did mountains of drugs, good drugs, and bad ones. I did bad ones too. Drugs, D-R-U-G-S, devil's revenge upon God's subjects, And if you're confused like I was, when I got here, I wasn't only confused, I was kind of disillusioned because I got a hearing problem. I don't hear shit right, I never have. I just don't hear stuff and collate stuff the same as normal people, And so I never heard that it was all mind-altering chemicals that affect you from the neck up. That was how it was written originally, and You know, I never heard that. I never heard. It was alcohol, alcoholics, Alcoholics Anonymous, don't drink, didn't care, carried on doing all the other shit that I used to do. Because I do lots of other shit. You know, if there's 12 steps attached to anything, I'm a contender for it, for Christ's sake. You know, I don't know whether you are or not, but I am. 12 steps attached to anything. AA, NA, CA, ACA, overeaters, little Peters. It don't matter what it is. You know, if there's 12 steps, I'm a contender. You know, there it is. I did actually go to a little Peter meeting, but they wouldn't let me in, said I didn't qualify. They let Carl in. Carl was all right, yeah. Anyway, you get the idea. I mean, and I didn't hear that it had to include all my mood-altering substances was effective from the neck up. Ugh, got my teeth. And so I carried on dabbling in those areas, and I ended up suicidal and homicidal in Alcoholics Anonymous, not drinking, but without the sufficient substitute that we talk about in the beautiful book Alcoholics Anonymous, dabbling in those outside issue areas, you know. Because, you know, I smoked a little pot now and then. Anybody here smoke a little pot? Anybody smoke a lot? Yeah, no. I mean, I never had a problem with pot. Pot only did two things to me. Made me horny, made me hungry. Nothing wrong with that. Well, except some mornings you wake up with a sore arm and a bed full of pizza crust. But apart from that, no big deal, you know. I mean, I like speed, crystal, crank. Anybody here do a little speed, crystal, crank? Yeah, anybody do a lot? Yeah, no shit. Did it make your dick disappear too? Oh yeah, I could fire up some crystal, go around talking to you lovely ladies, but I might as well have said, you want to come home and we'll talk about sex? There's no chance of getting any, you know. Old disappearing dick, you know, I mean, cocaine, anybody here do a little cocaine? Yeah, anybody do a lot? Yeah, you can leave your hand up, I think, you, back there, yeah. I'd do anything for cocaine, you know, except pay for it, don't like paying for it, you know. Heroin, I do heroin, I'm a dope fiend. I mean, I puke. If I puke on you, so what? You know, I mean, I just do all that. And I never heard that we had to, you know, eliminate all that. Now, I'm not talking about somebody's medications and what have you. That's not what my business is. But we know what we're talking about. And I make that mention simply because I never heard it. And I ended up at 4 months sober, what I thought sober, homicidal and suicidal, completely insane. You know, and so I mention that in case you haven't heard it either, because, you know, it was an horrendous state. It was a horrendous state that I was in. But there you go, a little tangent there I thought I'd tell you about. But when I got here, I knew nothing about nothing. I knew nothing about nothing when I got here. I thought I knew everything about everything, but I actually knew nothing about nothing. They tell me I was grey, shaky and smelly when I got here. And I thought I was God's gift to the universe, you know. And I never heard, you know. But I learnt, and I learnt good. And you guys taught me, and you taught me well, you know. And I've kept coming back. That's the first thing I ever heard when I got to Alcoholics Anonymous. There's a little bit of a pre-story to it, but cut a longer story short, I got to a meeting and I didn't know nothing about nothing, and as I approached the meeting, was in West Hollywood. Anybody here know West Hollywood? Anybody familiar with West Hollywood? It's a special part of town, you know. You know, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's commonly referred to as Boys Town. And if you still don't know what I'm talking about, it's the sort of town, if you drop your wallet on Santa Monica Boulevard, you've got to kick it up to Sunset before you can pick it up. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, as I approached that meeting, two dudes, I don't know nothing about, you know, guys celebrating and doing their own commitments and participating in their own sobriety and stuff. So, as I approached, there's two dudes, and one of them steps forward with his hands out. I said, what do you want? He went, I want to welcome you to AA. I said, what? He said, welcome to Alcoholics Anonymous. I said, what? And the other guy said, keep coming back. I thought he said, keep coming on my back. I said, what? He said, keep coming back. I said, what for? He said, we love you. I said, I bet you do. You know, when dudes tell you they love you in West Hollywood, you get a bit nervous. You know, I snuck round them and, I stood in the doorway of this little community centre, half the size of this place, and I looked in the door and there was, 20, perhaps 30 people in there. There were some celebrities there that I knew, and I remember standing in the doorway and looking in. My first impression was that every single body in the room was talking. Weren't nobody listening. And I thought, that carried on throughout AA. But everybody was talking. I went, wow, what is this? And I remember saying, wow. And I've been saying wow ever since, But anyway, as I was standing there, down the centre, just like here, another English rock and roll singer that I'd known came up and he put his arms around me. That's why I gave our leader a hug here, because I couldn't do that when I first got here. He put his arm around me and I went, what are you doing? He said, giving you a hug. I went, get away from me, you bloody pervert, get away from me. He said, that's what we do, we give hugs here. He said, we've been saving you a seat. I said, what do you mean, what for? He said, talk to these guys. I said, what are you doing here? I said, you're bloody mental, you are. He said, I'm leading the meeting. I said, how come? He said, I'm 22 months sober. I wasn't impressed. I can remember like taking half a step back. I didn't want to catch that, sober. He said, talk to these guys. I said, I don't want to talk to no guys. He said, that's what we do. I said, screw you. But they had a wet one, didn't they? And we welcome our wet ones, don't we? And they had their bloody nose in my ear, talking. Talk. I said, talk. Oh, damn. And they wouldn't shut up. And then, one of them got up in my face and said, you're an alcoholic. I said, what? He said, you're an alcoholic. I said, that's a bloody mean thing to say to somebody. Say a mean thing like that for. He said, you're alcoholic. I said, why'd you say that? He said, because if it looks like a duck and walks like a duck and sounds like a duck and smells like a duck, it's a bloody duck. Just because he's been taking some shit and thinks he's an eagle, no, you're a duck. You're a duck, I'm a duck. Quack, quack, you will. Damn. This is the bloody funny farm, man, Guys loving on you and shit, and ducks and eagles and shit like what? Alcoholic. And then the voices started talking. Anybody relate to the voices? Who relates to the voices that talk to you? You know the voices that talk to you? And nobody, just me? Who relates to the voices? You know the voices I'm talking about. Them voices that just said, what voices? Them fucking voices. You know them voices? Drive you crazy, them voices. Tell him to piss off. You're not an alcoholic. You're crazy. He said, I'm alcoholic. Well, tell him to piss off. You're not. You're crazy. You don't be whatever you do. Don't admit to being an alcoholic. You're not alcoholic. Tell him to take something. So he said, I'm alcoholic. Alcoholic, crazy. Damn. Alcoholic. They keep locking me up for being crazy. Nobody's ever locked me up for being alcoholic. Damn, I'd rather be alcoholic. Alcoholic, crazy. Tell him to shut up, David. Don't admit you're alcoholic. Wow, alcoholic. I'd rather be alcoholic. Being alcoholic was like a step up for me. I mean, wow, I ain't nuts, I ain't crazy, I'm alcoholic. Far out. I'm alcoholic. Holy shit. Couldn't wait to run home and tell my best friend. The one who'd kicked me out that morning told me to piss off. I said, hey, guess what? I'm an alcoholic. I'm powerless over alcohol. My life's unmanageable. He said, no shit. I thought he was going to be surprised. Weren't no one surprised, only me, Everybody else knew. You've probably been in the same position, I think, Anyway, and I've loved being alcoholic ever since, but I never knew nothing about it at the time. I never knew what alcoholic was. I never, I'm from northwest London, and everybody drinks. You know, didn't have a reason to drink, didn't have a reason not to drink. Everybody just drank. We drank if the team won, we drank if the team lost. If it was a tie, we drank till there was a result. We just drank. Nobody said you should, nobody said you shouldn't. Everybody just did. I came in here. You folk all seem to know why you did it. I've heard it here tonight, people talking about why they drank. Because they couldn't stand who they was, and they couldn't stand the pain, and they had all these issues. Like, pass the tissues, I got issues, you know, and I think, at what stage of the game do you discover that? I can't even imagine that, me. I cannot imagine going into any pub I ever drank at and saying, bartender, hit me with a triple shot of your best booze, because I can't stand who I am and I want to cover up the pain tonight. It never happened. Never. Oh, Mr. Dealer Man, give me an extra rock of crack cocaine, because I really feel inadequate. Never happened. I have no idea why I do what I do. I just do it, and I've always been doing it. I've been doing it, and here I am, destitute, broke, busted, disgusted, and not to be trusted, you know, hurting in every department, and I don't know nothing about nothing, and you guys do. But you guys taught me, and I learnt. You know, and I learnt what it was about me that made me alcoholic. And that duck and the eagle story helped me. See, because I didn't know, like I talked earlier about a disease of denial. This is a disease of denial, you know, and I didn't know that. And I denied everything all my life. All my life, I never once admitted nothing. I've lived outside the law all my life, and I stood in front of judges on many occasions. I never once admitted nothing. I never once stood in front of a judge and said, guilty as charged, Your Honour. No, not denied. But that duck and the eagle story kind of broke through that little barrier of denial. Because what it was about me that made me alcoholic is the same as what it was about you that made you alcoholic. And the duck and the eagle story helped me break through there, because what it is about me that makes me alcoholic actually isn't mentioned in the beautiful book Alcoholics Anonymous. What it is about me that makes me alcoholic is that alcohol changes my perception of reality. Alcohol changes my perception of reality. It don't change reality, it changes my perception of reality. AA changes my reality when I came here and did what you guys taught me. But, you know, it changes my perception of reality. And why do I want a change in perception of reality? Because I can't stand reality. I hate reality. I don't like reality. Screw reality and screw you in reality. You know? And that's what alcohol allowed me to do. Alcohol enabled me to, you know, be here in this rotten world with you rotten people doing rotten shit that I can't stand. Right up until January the 15th, 1983, when two things happened that I never knew was happening at the time. I wasn't conscious of them. That's why I say to our new folk, if you're hearing things and you don't understand, or it's over your head or whatever, keep coming back. Keep coming back, and if you're anything like me, more will be disclosed to you, as the beautiful book says, and it won't seem so strange along the path, as long as we stay clean and sober, you know. Anyway, that duck and the eagle story, you know, that's what happened when I drank. When I drank, it changed my perception of reality. It changed me from a duck to an eagle. You know, I go out drinking as a delicate little duck, I have a few stiff ones and turn into an eagle and go swooping around looking for prey. You know? And that's not P-R-A-Y either, you know. It changes me from a duck to an eagle, you know. I didn't know about this then. Mary in my home group, she seems to know about it. She puts it as well as I've ever heard anybody put it. In my home group back there in Santa Monica, Mary's this delicate little dudette. Bad-ass drunk is Mary. She says when she drinks, she feels wittier, prettier and tiddier. You know? You know? And I know exactly what she means. You know? She ain't no wallflower when she's drinking. It's like, come and get some of this, big boy. It changes my perception of reality, and I can't stand reality. I don't like reality. That's why I wrote the word sober. S-O-B-E-R. Son of a bitch. Everything's real. You know. I don't like real. Screw real, you know. Alcohol stopped working. Now, I didn't know what that meant. I heard it, but I didn't know what it meant, and I tried to find out. It didn't stop getting me drunk. I still kept getting drunk. I still kept rotting my liver. It still kept getting me in trouble, but it stopped changing my perception of reality. The other thing that happened was that I hit bottom. I didn't know nothing about hitting bottom. How would I know? I couldn't work it out for myself, and I hadn't come across you guys to teach me yet. Hit bottom. I never knew the two things that happened. The alcohol stopped working and I hit bottom. I heard people talking about hitting bottom. You know, I heard it in meetings, people saying like they hit bottom, and I see folks playing on their phone. I see folks playing on their phone in an AA meeting. That's not very cool, is it? You're allowed to play on your phone if you're expecting a call from the VD clinic, you know. And they only call if you got a positive test. So if the VD call you and tell you got a positive test, we sympathise, but you ain't getting laid tonight, you know. I mean, so if you've got to play on your phone, old blobby knobs, you know. I mean, anyway, just thought throw that in about your phone, you know. Anyway, you know, where was I? What was I thinking? What was I doing? What was I saying? What? Oh, hitting bottom, all right, hitting bottom. HITBOTTOM. Hurting inside, totally burnt out, turn to our master. I didn't know this disease had gotten me to turn away from the master. But long before I got here, and maybe you can relate, long before I got to recovery, you know, the disease had already been getting me, and the disease had been getting me to abandon God and spirituality, so that along the path of life, sometimes quickly and sometimes slowly, the disease became the power in my life, dictating and dominating everything I say, do, think and feel. And in and of myself, I was helpless, hopeless and powerless to resist its demands, and had to do what it wanted me to do, which was drink. Anybody know what I'm talking about? And it made me drink even when I didn't want to drink. When I absolutely didn't want to drink, when every fibre of my body was against drinking, I drank anyway. Anybody else do that? Who else done that? And the rest of you lying mothers, I know. You know, it made me do it even when I didn't want to do it. And I couldn't not do it just because I didn't want to do it. I had to not want to do it and then do these steps and this work so that I don't do what I already don't want to do. And if I ain't doing these steps in this work or ain't done these steps in this work, I will do what I don't want to do, because the disease I got that I'm powerless over will make me do what I don't want to do. You think I knew that shit when I got here? Never had a clue. Never knew nothing. You guys did. I was so sick when I got here, I didn't even know I was sick. Do you know how sick that is? Do you know how sick it is to be so sick that you don't know you're sick? That's really sick. And if you're as sick as I was when I got here, so sick, that you come into a room like this, room full of alkies, like good alkies, and you scan the room like that, and you think, I'm not as sick as him. Do you know how sick that is? Do you know how sick it is to be in a room like this thinking you ain't as sick as the next guy? That's really sick. So if you're in here tonight wondering whether you is or whether you isn't a real alcoholic or not, I want you to know that I can relate to being as sick as you don't think you are, you know. And I never knew. Anyway, I heard people talking about hitting bottom and didn't know what it was. I went round asking, what does it mean, hitting bottom? You'd be amazed at what I got told. I mean, people told me all kinds of shit. I don't know whether you believe it or not, but because it ain't in the book either. Hitting bottom ain't mentioned in the programme, and just like changes my perception of reality, the two things are not in the programme, so I was confused. And I went round asking, and people told me all kinds of shit. You know, that what their bottom, everybody's bottom's different, they said. I thought, well, can't be everybody's different. There's no unity in being different, for Christ's sake. You know, so wanted to find out what it was. And because in the 12 and 12, got any 12 and 12s in this shitty AA meeting? It's got no literature. Anyway, in the 12 and 12, in the very first step, Bill Wilson, who never put anything in the beautiful book Alcoholics Anonymous about hitting bottom, in the 12 and 12, in the very first step he insists, he says, why all this insistence that every alcoholic must hit bottom first? Well, we don't like that kind of talk, do we? We don't like that authoritative type talking. You know, perhaps like I'm sounding up here now. You know, hit bottom on this, Father Mucker. You know, I mean... But it's so important that he insisted that every alcoholic must hit bottom first. And I didn't know what it was. And I was asking people, they didn't seem to know either. I mean, you know, people told me all kinds of stuff. But what they were telling me was about the outside circumstances of their life at the tail end of their drinking. You know, and that's not what hitting bottom is. Hitting bottom's an inside job, not an outside circumstance. But they would tell me how much they lost and where they sank and, you know, disease and you know, imprisonment and everything else. That's the outside. That's not what hitting bottom is. People think it is, say it is, but it's not. And everybody's bottom isn't different. It's the same for us all if we understand what hitting bottom is. I mean, one little couple that I work with, very happy with this little couple. They work hard at their sobriety, and you know, I said, look, Bill insists that every alcoholic must hit bottom first. Have you hit bottom? And the little chickadee, she said, yes, Mick, I've hit bottom. I said, I'm curious, tell me about it. She said, it's easy, Mick. I was, you know, feet to the curb, hustling the Broadway, prostituting myself, trying to earn $1 so I could get loaded. I said, that wasn't your bottom. She said, well, I think it was. I said, I don't give a shit what you think. I said to her, dude, have you hit bottom, pal? He said, yes, Mick, I've hit bottom. I said, tell me about it. He said, it's easy. I was locked up in a penitentiary, married to Bubba. I said, that wasn't your bottom. He said, it felt like it was. They got bad minds, Mike. Bad minds, they got. You know, hitting bottom ain't about the outside circumstances. Hitting bottom's an inside job, not an outside. And that's the same for all of us. And that's what happened to me on January the 15th, 1983. I'm blessed and grateful to have been so sick that although God was X'd out of my life, I had God in my life without really realising it, because I had the gift of desperation. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Anybody here come in here with the gift of desperation? Yeah, desperate. G-O-D, God. Yeah, you've been disturbing the meeting well enough. Go out. Did you see him come in? I got to say hello to everybody. Come up late. Anyway, I had the gift of desperation. And what I brought here was a lot of hurt and hate. Hurt and hate. I don't know what you brought to recovery, but what I brought was a lot of hurt and hate. I hurt and I hate everything. Anybody know what I'm talking about? I hated women. I couldn't stand women. I hated homos and queers and anybody different. I hated black people. It's totally racist and prejudiced. I was from London, England, living in Los Angeles, and I hated foreigners. I couldn't stand me. I hated you, and get away from me, and don't come near me. And with all that torment and turmoil going on inside, I still had to try and present to you a picture of somebody you would like. Because when your higher power is what people think of you, if you don't like me, I'm screwed. That's what I brought. Powerless. On January the 15th, 1983, in desperation, without knowing what I was saying, without knowing who I was saying it to, and without knowing what the consequences and the results of what I was saying was going to be, I can remember hurting so bad and going, help me, please, help me, what's wrong with me? And asked for help from outside of myself. ASK, Our Saving Kit. Help, H-E-L-P, His ever-loving presence. And although this disease had gotten me to abandon God, God hadn't abandoned me. And when I turned back to him and asked for help, he seemed to be looking over my shoulder. And he seemed to say, Mick, you silly bastard, I've been waiting for you to ask. Now get yourself over that 12-step fellowship. Sent me to you. I asked for help and he sent me to you. Because here was the power he provided for an alcoholic addict of my kind, your kind, our kind, beautiful book says, to not have to drink today. I went, wow. Powerless. All powerless really means is godless. That's all it really means. People don't seem to grasp that, but I do. Powerless. Powerless over alcohol. Remember we deal with alcohol, cunning, baffling and powerful. Alcohol, cunning, baffling and powerful. But there's one who has all power, that one is God. May you find him now. Well, if I got to find him, it means I ain't got him. And if he's the source and he's the power over everything, and I'm powerless over alcohol, all it really means is where alcohol is concerned, I'm godless. Ain't hard to work out, is it? I mean, in the rest of my affairs, in my life on life's terms type deal, God must be there. He must be there because I'm here. But where alcohol is concerned, I have no power. How come I got no power? Because alcohol's powerful. Well, that contradicts itself if you look at it logically like that, because alcohol being powerful, how can one have all the power? But when I worked it out and when I thought about it, the disease that had gotten me to abandon God and spirituality was the negative power. Alcohol had the negative power, and it had gotten me to abandon God, the positive power, so that I was powerless over alcohol. And that's why when I turned back to him and he came back in my life and sent me to you, a 12-step spiritual fellowship. Here was a 12-step spiritual fellowship. And this thing works for our agnostic and atheist friends. You know, this thing works if you be alcoholic. Because here it is, right here, right now. Right here and right now, in this very room, where are we? Where are we? Where is this? Yeah, that place, Harbour, wherever that is. Look, if we haven't got a power in this room right here, right now, and we suffer from a disease that makes me do what I already don't want to do, and I can't not do it just because I don't want to, if I haven't got a power in this room that I can take out there so that I don't have to drink and drug when I go out there, if I haven't got a power in here to take out there, I'll have to go and get loaded. So why would I deny that I've got a power in here? Powerless? No! There ain't one person in this room or any 12-step fellowship room that is powerless over what they're suffering from. Nobody in this room right here, right now, is powerless over alcohol and drugs, I'll tell you that. How can you be? Look, me plus you is a power greater than me on my own. You plus us is a power greater than you on your own. Together we could do what I couldn't do alone. I couldn't stay sober, you couldn't stay sober, but together we can stay sober. We can do what I couldn't do. Is that strange? Does anybody understand that? Who understands that? Yeah, no shit. Ain't hard, is it? You know, we can do what I couldn't do. So here's a power which it says in the second step. Came to believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. Well, if you're anything like me, Albert Einstein, I'm an Albert Einstein fan, he says insanity is repeating the same behaviour and expecting a different result. Drinking. So if drinking is insanity, to be restored to sanity means not drinking. So here I was, I come here, here's a power, me plus you, the power of the fellowship if you like, which enables me to not have to drink, which is restoring me to sanity. And I can take this power out there and apply it to the principles of my life and not have to drink. And we must be able to do that. I mean, look, I don't know how many folks are in the room. It looks like over 100 to me. If we ain't got a power in here that we can take out there, we'll have to go and get drunk. I don't think Prescott's ready for 100 alkies to go out and get shit-faced tonight. You know? So I don't deny the power. I got so much bloody power over alcohol as long as I stay here with you, being a small part of a great whole. I got so much power over alcohol, I don't know what to do with it, for Christ's sake. I said to my sponsor, what shall I do with all this power over alcohol I got? He said, give it away. Give it away. Go out there to Arizona. Give it to them. Don't worry, they won't want it. You know, so here I am. I'm in Alcoholics Anonymous and I'm, you know, not suffering the consequences and the results of my drinking and drugging. You know? That was January the 15th, 1983. January 15th, 1983. Broke, busted, disgusted and not to be trusted. It's not the same today, folks. It's not the same today. I ain't broke, busted, disgusted and not to be trusted today. I'm a very wealthy man, financially and materially. But my greatest asset, the greatest asset I have, is that loving God you taught me about. And I never brought it in there with me. The God shit nearly ran me out of here, in fact. I don't know whether you got a problem in that area, but we do. I did. I hated it. I was raised in a religion. Just thinking, this is a special kind of meeting. I'm told it's a Pacific Group meeting. Pacific Group are not Mickey Bush friendly. I guess I might as well give them something to be not friendly about, you know. I mean, you know, I hated that whole religion thing. My dad, he was a member of the CIA, Catholic Irish alcoholic, and he used to bash me up and hurt me and stuff, and one day he whacked me and said, "Go to confession, get to confession." You know, Dad was Irish and big Irish community where we lived, and I hated it. I couldn't stand it. I'm like 9 or 10, something like that. You have to go to confession and you go in a little cubicle and, you know, there's some pervert behind a curtain, you know, and he says, like, confess your sins. I said, you first. No, I made that up. I just invented it. But I went in this confession. I hated it. I couldn't stand it. And I thought, how can I get even with these buggers, you know? I thought, I know, I'll take a shit in the confessional. Took a dump in the confessional, didn't I? Come Sunday, the parish priest was like the Pope in our neighbourhood. Big Irish community, the parish priest, mustn't upset the parish priest, holy shit. The parish priest is standing in the pulpit like screaming. His veins were popping on his head. Oh shit, in the confessional. Everybody, oh my God, parish priest, so much shit in the confessional. All except me, sneaky little bastard, laughing up my sleeve, you know. Did anything happen? Yes, something did happen. The next week I went prepared. Went in the other side. Left a note, said the phantom shitter strikes again. But I hated it. I couldn't stand it anyway. But when I got to Alcoholics Anonymous, well-meaning people, at least they're well-meaning, they said, let go and let God. I said, what? They said, turn it over to God. I said, what? They said, pray to God. I said, pray to God? Are you nuts? If I pray to him, he'll know where I am. You know, I wasn't going to pray to know God who was going to get me. They said, God will get you for that. Everything I did growing up, they said, God will get you for that, God will get you for that. Everything. Did anybody ever hear those words that I grew up hearing every minute of every day? What is wrong with you? Anybody ever hear that? What the hell's wrong with you? For Christ's sake, what is wrong with you? And they would ask me what's wrong with me as if I knew. What is wrong with you? Oh, actually, I've got a twofold disease. It's an obsession of the mind, allergy of the body. Can't control my drinking. You know, I don't know what's wrong with me. What's wrong with you? You know, because I don't know. I have no idea. You know, but you guys did, and you guys taught me. And you taught me well, and I'm glad you did. You know. He told me to, pray to God. Is everybody getting restless? Should I pack this up? I mean, you know. Anyway, you know, haven't you got any respect for this meeting? Haven't you got any respect for AA as a whole? Can't you be quiet and pay respect even if you don't want to listen yourself, disturb other people? See, you thought I was just good looking, didn't you? Pray to God, for Christ's sake. I wasn't going to pray to no God. I'm out of here. I don't like that God shit, you know. And I'm bolting out the door. But as I'm bolting out the door, there were some Native American brothers sitting by the door, and they said, Mick, come and join us. We got a different way of saying some of this stuff. I went, yeah, I had nowhere else to go anyway. Went and sat with them, and they taught me about, you know, the Great Spirit, Father Sky, Mother Earth, brothers and sisters, family, you know. That was a lot more warm and fuzzy than that, on your knees, sinner, that I'd been brought up with, you know. Stood me in good stead. You know, I'll give you another little thing just to round this up. God doesn't protect you from the storm. He protects you in the storm. God protects us in the storm, not from the storm. And you're going to have some storms in your life. If you're anything like me, you're going to have some storms in your life. This last 2 years, I've had a lot of storms in my life. A little over 2 years ago, my mum died. Some of you know I talk about my mum. My mum wasn't one of us. If you want a clue as to whether you're alcoholic or not, you better not have laughed in here tonight. Because they say if you're laughing, you're relating. And if you're relating to a sick bastard like me, there ain't no doubt about you, pal, I tell you that. I don't get through to the well people. My mum never laughed at anything I said. I'd go home to London, England, see my mum every year. Every year I'd go round there, I'd knock her up and I'd tell her, Mum, I'm 36 years sober. She said, so is the cat. You know? She don't give me no pat on the back for not doing something I shouldn't have done anyway. You know? She's mum. But she passed. We'd always had a terrible relationship, me and my mum. When I was a kid, she used to bash me, and when I got big enough, I bashed her back. Awful, terrible, horrendous. I came and joined you. You guys said, keep coming back. I kept coming back. That relationship with my mum changed, like it does in Alcoholics Anonymous. When my mum passed, my 3 sisters and brother, not alcoholic, were sitting around the bed. They said, Mum suddenly come up on her elbows. They didn't know if the time had come. She had the broadest grin on her face. She had a big, broad smile on her face. She said, Mum, you okay? She said, Mickey's doing good in Alcoholics Anonymous in America. And she laid back and passed. I tell you, how does a guy like me, who comes out of nut wards for the criminally insane, put a smile on an old lady's face as she goes to meet her maker? Happens right here, it happens, folks. Right here in Alcoholics Anonymous, if you be alcoholic like me. Shortly after that, my manager of 24 years died. Disappeared, dead. 60 grand of my dough disappeared as with him. Shortly after that, my youngest and favourite sister, born on my belly button birthday, died. Sunday it was. On the Monday, my 36-year-old son died. On the Tuesday, my best and closest and longest friend from the UK died. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. My youngest sister, my son, and my best and closest, longest friend. Sunday I was in the East Bay meeting, my regular Sunday night meeting. Monday I was in my home group meeting, Seal Beach Speakers meeting. Tuesday I was at my men's stag meeting, no men's stag. 3 different deaths in 3 different days in 3 different meetings. R.I.P., rest in peace, was recovery is priority. And you guys taught me that. I'm in the no matter what club. We don't use no matter what. Shortly after that, I nearly died. My heart gave out, I nearly died. 28 days I was locked up, I was in a hospital. I've done a hell of a lot of H&I work, all my years, love and service. When I was in the hospital 28 days, you guys come and gave me love and service. Hospitals and institutions, or as I call it, you know, homies and inmates, is what I call it. Came flooding in the hospital. The hospital, they couldn't work it out. They said, Who are you? How come all these people are coming? Look, the wards are full up. Where are you coming from? H&I, hospitals and institutes, visiting, bringing me what I had brought to everybody else. I got past the surgery, the main surgery, but that wasn't enough. You know, my heart still wasn't good. It stopped 3 times, kept stopping. I had to put this pacemaker. I got a pacemaker here. I'm battery operated. I'm a bionic bushman. You know, battery operated. It's not all bad because, like, some of you ladies prefer it battery operated. Did I just say that? I didn't say that. God don't protect us from the storm, He protects us in the storm. I'm living proof. I've heard a lot of laughter in here tonight. We've had a lot of fun. Tomorrow night I'll be somewhere else doing the same thing somewhere else with another bunch of alcoholic addicts just like me and you. I'll be immensely proud to be just a small part of a great whole. I love that. My telephone number, 310-617-7878. 310 area code, 617-7878. And I give you that number because that's what you gave me when I got here. I see the minutes have ticked by and I've got to close this down. I love hearing from you. I could go on for another hour very, very easily. I love being an active member of Alcoholics Anonymous. I was just told I was a celebrity in Alcoholics Anonymous by 2 celebrities who told me, Mick, I haven't seen you, but I've been hearing about you. I'm making a movie in New York, and both the meetings I went to in New York, they quoted you and mentioned you by name. You're like the 12-step celebrity. I said, yeah, bloody big deal, a celebrity in an anonymous program. I said, no, you're a celebrity. I'm just a small part of a great whole, and I love that. I love being a small part of a great whole. Thank you for that. Oh, wait. No, I want to finish what I was going to do. Look, I didn't know what I was going to say up here tonight, but I knew I'd want more time to say it in. Look, I looked up an AA meeting and went there alone. Here I found an ingredient that had been lacking in any other effort I'd made to save myself. Here was power. Here was power to live to the end of any given day. Power to have the courage to face the next day. Power to have friends. Power to help people. Power to be sane. Power to stay sober. That was 7 years ago and many AA meetings ago. And I haven't had a drink during those 7 years. Moreover, I'm deeply convinced that so long as I continue to strive in my bumbling way towards the principles I first encountered in the earlier chapters of this book, this remarkable power will continue to flow through me. What is this power? With my AA friends, all I can say is that it's a power greater than myself. If pressed, all I can do is follow the psalmist who said it long before me. Be still and know that I am God. Keep coming back. God bless.